What do we do when we're faced with a traumatic event? I want to share some ways with that. Let me just share a little bit what had happened. It was more than 6 years ago, but probably about 8 years or so ago, and I was living near a military base, and I got this text that says, "Are you guys all right?" Then I got a message. That was a message from my husband that says, "Hun, please call me." But when I called him back, he wasn't there. And then I turned on the TV and found out that there was a live shooter on that military base. I got stuck to that TV and I couldn't move. And then I just started crying and crying. I felt like sobbing. I couldn't do anything at all. And then I said, "Joyce, you've got to stop crying." This is Joyce, the Practical Christian Woman, helping you learn to love your life and your marriage. So what do we do when we're stuck with one of these traumatic events? It might be a hurricane, it might be a tornado went through, it might be a sudden death of a family member. I don't know what might be in your case. But there are horrid things happening in this world. And and they seem to be more and more. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know there's horrid things happening. What do we do? How do we handle those? And I've come up with some basic, simple ways we can do that. If you want to look at the blog, there'll be even more ways, but I'm just going to summarize these up for you. First off, we need to turn off that TV and only watch enough that doesn't make us cry and fall apart. Yes, we need some of that news, and yes, we need some of that information. But to continuously sitting there watching it for hour after hour after hour, like I was doing, it's not healthy. It stops us from living our life, and it just throws stress and stress and more stress on our lives. So what did I need to do? Number one, get dressed all the way, head to toe. Make us everything. Get dressed. Pick up the house. Do those simple little normal things. And then I needed to start to pray. I needed to pray for those who were in the situation, couldn't get off the military base. It was closed down at that point. Those who might be affected by the shooter, and all of us who were watching this thing, wondering where were our loved ones. But I need to pray and ask for God to calm our hearts in this traumatic event, and ask Him to protect those we love. Then number four, I need to find ways to distract myself. I don't know how you're going to distract yourself, but I often will do some needlework. I'll do some coloring. I'll read a book. You might turn on some other channel on the TV. But sitting there being absorbed in this 24/7 is not healthy. We can have a little bit, but too much is going to just totally ruin us and ruin our ability to think and interact with people. And then number five, we need to make sure that we get some sleep and eat and you pay the bills. If that's going on a while, those are the three things we need to do. Maybe you have family members that are in the hospital, in ICU or something. You need to make sure you sleep, you need to make sure that you eat, and make sure that you pay the bills. And just about everything else can wait in a traumatic event. And here's one bonus tip to remember this, that God says He will never, ever leave us alone. He will never forsake us. He is always with us, even in these events. He always listens to us, even when we're crying out, for shouting out for whatever these prayers are for all these people, and always there to help us deal with the traumatic events in our lives. That's the stable thing, is God's presence and His continual ability to be with us in these dramatic events.